guys, welcome back to the channel. This week we are doing burgers, but not any burgers. We're doing the best one, and it starts with doing your own buns. So let's start this.
At 95 degrees, have half a cup of water and half a cup of milk and put 8 grams of yeast in it and let it rest for 8 minutes. You need 3.5 cups of bread flour, 15 grams of sugar and 7 grams of salt. Put all of the dry stuff in the stand mixer and make sure everything is mixed well. Start your stand mixer at the lowest setting and then add your yeasty liquid into the mix after waiting 8 minutes for the yeast to do his job. While mixing, add 1 egg yolk and 1 whole egg to the mix. After about 2 minutes, add 2 tablespoons of softened butter into the dough. Then continue mixing for a couple minutes to develop the gluten and until the dough is nice and smooth. Remove the dough from the stand mixer and work it on a dry surface. What you want to do here is to work that dough and form a nice big taut ball. Once you achieve the desired shape of your dough, oil your container and put the dough seam side down in it, and don't forget to oil the plastic just in case the dough rises to that level so it don't stick to it. Let that little guy rest for about an hour and a half at 25 degrees Celsius. A good place for that, it's in your oven when it's closed. Divide the dough in 6 equal parts or almost equal. It's cool to have different size of buns though. This part right here is very important if you want your buns to be thick and high. So take the edge of the dough, stretch it and fold it over itself on the bottom, then roll the dough with your hand on a dry surface so the dough become round and taut. Repeat the process for all of your 5 other dough and then put them on a non-stick surface like that silicone mat. Then cover it and let it rise for about an hour at 25 degrees. Now it's time to work on our patties. Here I have a very nice ribeye, aged for about 55 days. When you dry age steak like this, a pellicle form all around the steak. This is edible and is very good in burgers. Those will put strong flavor of dry aged beef into the patties. So we will use 50% of pellicle and 50% of raw meat. Another very important thing about patties is the fat content. Fat is flavor and fat mean juiciness, so you need about 30% fat and 70% meat in your mix. And of course, to control everything we just talked about, you need to grind your own meat. That meat grinder is fairly cheap. I will put a link in the description below. What I really like about grinding my own meat is that you control the quality of the meat, and that way you can cook your patties medium rare. The only seasoning you need in that meat is salt and pepper. And make sure you mix by hand very well so the fat emulsify in the meat. Now it's time to work on our sauce. Here I have a Japanese mayonnaise. You can also use regular mayonnaise. Add the ketchup at a ratio of 1:2. Take 2 pickles and then finely chop and add this to the mix. Add about 1 teaspoon of garlic powder and 2 teaspoons of paprika. Season with salt and pepper and mix all that goodness together. And of course you need to taste this to know if you did a good job. Seems like it. Alright, now it's time to go into the great outdoors and fire that Kamado Joe. Here I'm using indirect heat to bake those nice buns. Cover your bun with the egg wash and then at 375 for 16 to 18 minutes bake those little buns. Of course you can use your oven to bake them, but the charcoal will leave a subtle nice flavor to the buns. At the second your buns are ready, cover them with butter and then with sesame seeds. Now let's cut them open and see how fluffy and beautiful they are. Time to cook the patties now. I like to cook them on a flat surface like this so they cook on their own juice. The cooking time will vary a lot between barbecue, gas or charcoal, so the best bet is to cook them until 125 inside so they are medium rare. And we want to have a nice toasty look on those buns, so put a little bit of butter on that flat surface and bake them until you have the desired toastiness. And then cook your egg on the same flat surface with a little bit of butter. I like my eggs sunny side up. And the fun part, assemble everything: le petit pain, the sauce, an onion, the patty with some brie cheese, the tomato, the pickles, a salad, and then the sunny side up egg on top. And now it's time to crown the king. It's a beautiful.
Alright, you guys, we did an amazing burger. If you like this episode, please leave a like, it make a difference. Subscribe and